This is Leaf Life. All things cannabis for all people. Now, Ricker and the Bearded Lorax.
We publish a free magazine that is called The Leaf that is available in print in 14 states at your local cannabis retailer and also available online at leafmagazines.com. My name's Mike, last name's Ricker. I'm your host of Leaf Life with my co-host Wes, first name, last name Abney, also known as Bearded, first name, last name Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
And of course there's AJ OG.
Hola, aloha OGs.
And Mary J. White.
Baked with love.
The biggest news of the year coming from the DEA is the announcement that they're moving the plant from a Schedule 1 drug to a Schedule 3 drug. And although this is a push in the right direction from a policy perspective, many in the industry suspect they are only inviting the big pharma wolf into the henhouse. This is rescheduling cannabis.
The plant isn't free until we're free to share it everywhere.
Show's over.
And grow it at home.
No.
Agreed.
First segment, one giant leaf for mankind. And our second segment, the reality. But before we get educated, we've got to get medicated, so let's get stoned. All right. Hey, so wherever your day has led you, now it's time to fire up, chew up, or drink up. Whatever it takes to get in the mood, lady, as we introduce this show's Greg the Guinea Pig.
Hi, I'm Greg, and Ricker used to try his weed out on me. But now it's someone else's turn to be the guinea pig.
Hey, we got a real friend of the podcast here and of the Leaf magazines here in the Pacific Northwest. We broadcast from Seattle in the Georgetown area, and our Northwest Leaf magazine premium placement advertiser on pages 5-6 is Artizen Cannabis, and BURTSCHER is the CEO at this great company that is actually multi-state, also in Oregon now as well. Germán, welcome to the Leaf Live podcast.
Happy to be here.
There he is. He's got his Artizen shirt on. By the way, that's Artizen with a Z. It's artizencannabis.com. And now, hey, let's spin that wheel, AJ, and see what the Greg the Guinea Pig is going to be hitting.
What's in AJ's stash?
Yeah, what's in AJ's stash, AJ?
All right, y'all. I am stoked. Today we have a Golden State, beautiful flower, cultivated with snow melt from Mount Shasta at the base of the Cascades, y'all.
Yeah.
Just like they used to look for gold out there, these guys are going right to the source, and I love their branding. It's beautiful. I also really enjoy they put a little script for each strain. So this is Moonbeam Indica, a subtle indica where stress evaporates and serenity awaits, boasting aromas of pink grapefruit and unveiling sweet confectionaries with each exhale.
Germán, I think you might be getting a massage as well.
I'm excited.
It's like a full boutique experience.
Yes,
Go ahead and,
truly.
fire it up.
All in on that.
Will you be smoking with us today?
A little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna break my fast.
Oh, really?
Ooh-wee. So I definitely want to bust out these flowers, y'all. Oh, we have the Lorax pipe today.
Oh, cool.
These flowers are gorgeous. Look at that flower. Isn't it beautiful? And the scent, the nose on that.
Go ahead, fire them up. Let's go.
Let them know how it smells.
We got to talk about rescheduling, man. Shit. Get that motherfucker stoned.
Oh my goodness. This is going to be
You might need that.
All of a sudden, you're
some
kind of
good
scared. Right?
relief. Okay, so this is a very special pipe, the Lorax pipe here.
Yeah, this is hand-carved Lorax pipe by very good friend of the Leaf, Jerry Mead at Ganja Jinja.
Oh, this guy.
Sorry about that. Here.
It's actually a, let's get the right branding, a bearded Lorax
A
pipe.
bearded Lorax, yeah.
There you go, man.
That's okay. Then I can put it in there.
Bam. And there's a lighter. Well, you know.
Is it working? Are we going?
It's not good.
Oh gosh, you guys.
Let me have a real lighter.
Let's try the lighter, but I don't
Mary,
wanna
wake
burn
me
the
up
pipe.
when we're done, okay?
Okay, I'll just.
Okay.
Ooh,
Here we go.
We got some
There.
dragon puffs now.
That's it.
Who's going?
good to go.
Woo!
All right, let's get right to it. So,
Smells yummy.
one giant leaf for mankind. What does it mean to reschedule cannabis from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug? We all, look, most people in the world already know what this means. It's taking something that had it was classified as having zero medicinal value and placing it in a categorization now that gives it some medicinal value, which opens up a lot of avenues in the cannabis industry for things to change. What are some of those changes that we can expect, Germán?
Well, a little bit on research, most likely. Still to be figured out.
Better research. By the way, Germán is Austrian. Pardon the accent. You guys, born in Austria, lives in the U.S., married an American woman, right?
Correct.
Okay. Go on.
And taxes. That's really what it is. Pay less taxes, quite a bit less taxes. If you want to get really finance-oriented, better balance sheets, and more opportunity for banking, although for that you still need the Safe Banking Act. Because going from 1 to 3, you're still illicit on the federal level, period.
Right.
Banks still will ask you the same question. Is anything you do illegal on federal, state, or local
everything.
level?
Yeah.
And, the answer is yes, it still is illegal and not legal. So all the big banks are still not going to come in.
Yeah, so the schedule of drugs set out by the DEA, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe there's a 5th.
There's a 5.
There is a 5. The first level has included cannabis since the beginning with, the Dare and Nixon and Reagan and that era of like reefer madness, real reefer law madness. But it was right there with heroin.
Yeah.
On Schedule 1. No medicinal value, as Ricker said, completely illegal, completely unacceptable. Cocaine's Schedule 2. And that's because it has certain positive medicinal benefits, believe it or not. As an analgesic, I never know how to say that word.
Analgesic.
Analgesic.
It's a caricature.
Caricature. So cocaine was, viewed as safer by the DEA than weed forever.
Wow.
Now, Schedule 3 takes us down into the ketamine kind of territory where they view it still as needing a pharmaceutical guidance or prescription for use. And so this has been a big fear of activists going back to the early days of weed where I came from, that it would go into big pharma's hands. Because if you say you need a prescription, then everything has to come in the form of a pill or a tincture. And there was always this fear that if the government did that, it would wipe out the cannabis industry as we know it. And there is a juxtaposition here, as there's always been with federal law and state law, where the feds say this is illegal. The state of Washington voters said this isn't illegal. We think this is safer than alcohol, or at least equivalent.
Right.
What will the federal limits be? Are they going to kind of get into this with us? That's a big fear.
Yeah.
As well as the pharmaceutical designation.
And it should be, but I think the rabbit is out of the hat. We're too big. I don't know how many states, 21, 23
23 recreational.
26,
24.
27, 24.
And Washington, D.C.
And then a bunch of medical ones to be seen.
38 overall.
38 overall.
Yeah.
And I think it's up to us. I mean, there's a common period there. We need to finally organize better than we have in a very short period of time. And safe banking and Senate, once that goes through, a lot of the prohibition on the financial side will be taken away.
Yeah.
And that will not allow for big pharma most likely to that easily break what the states did. And remember, we just generated $400 million in cannabis tax for the state of Washington.
Just in this state, $400 million to the state.
How much new pharma would have to come in here in order for that to be replicated?
They don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
They get you, once you're making that money, you get used to it. It's tough going backwards.
Well, that's the problem is the taxes have been the burden. But it's also been what protects us. Because I like to say, at least in Washington, where there's a 47% tax at the register, the pot growers and retailers are drug dealers for the state. 47 cents on every dollar is going to the government. Yep. So you are literally in partnership with a very greedy partner. Most partners are like 20%, 30% even,
It's more of an owner-slave relationship, to be honest with you. So,
as spoken like a grower.
Kind of what we feel, at least on the production side, on a monthly basis.
Now, you mentioned tax relief. A big element of rescheduling would be going from Schedule 1 to 3 is not being a complete illegal product, which would mean that ideally 280E, the tax code, the Al Capone tax law that makes it illegal for illegal businesses to deduct standard expenses on their taxes, that would no longer apply to the cannabis industry. And that tax is crippling.
Yeah.
It's another 20 to 30% on the federal taxes, which means you can't write off your rent as a cannabis business, employee costs, so many different things, ordinary
Marketing.
business expenses.
Marketing, sales, general administrative, finance, accounting, anything, delivery.
You can't write any of it off.
Can write any of it off. So when you think of that change alone, the minimum savings will be about 35%. You look at a company that does, I don't know, I've already done somewhere, 15 million a year. If you do well, you should at least have 35% in gross profit, meaning revenue minus what it cost you to make it, nothing else. You need 35%. If you really want to do good, 40, 45, 35, you now pay tax on that today. Anything else, sales, marketing, delivery, administrative, accounting, finance, bookkeeping, anybody, front desk, you name it, none of that is deductible. So now, if you can do that, your 10% profit that you might have and whatever,
My goodness.
your what was $1.2 million or $1 million in taxes a year is literally $350,000 in that case.
Jeez.
Yeah, all kinds of things change because you get valued on your cash, which that $600,000 save goes straight to your bottom line. My math, if anybody listens again to it, might be slightly off.
The big picture is a lot of people are either right on the edge of financial failure or are already in debt and just struggling. I don't know a cannabis producer processor that's not in tax debt either. Very common. But I mean, we hear about multi-million-dollar tax bills because of 280E. And you have businesses that are being taxed to the point, right to that breaking point of like, can you even exist under this tax burden?
Yeah.
And if you remove that, then these businesses become profitable, our community starts healing again, and money starts circulating. And that is a good thing.
Yeah.
And you know, the fact that we can survive to that extent, and retailers have an even harder time. You cannot deduct any employees for the most part unless somebody looking after or bring their product in or whatever. The fact that we can survive means we have squeezed costs. We've gotten really efficient. We're really good at what we do. We really produce some of the best product in the country, up and down the West Coast, I would think, especially when you look east of the mountains, out toward New York and all these other places where you find weed. That's an advantage. In order for us to take advantage of that, a lot of other things will have to change as well.
Well, in the second segment, we're going to talk about, what does this mean? What's the reality, right? Because we're, like Wes said, drug dealers for the state, a little corruption going on. The cannabis industry obviously gets treated like prisoners, whether you're behind bars or not. But first, German, it's time for you to play Austria or Australia.
Fasten dein Lederhosen and try to figure out if a veggie might be Austria or Australia.
Oh, crikey! Well, it's another one of our brain-bending bouts with tongue-twisting titles. German, you're Austrian, so you should know. These should be really easy for you, right?
Oh, sure.
Here we go. Number one. Is it Austria or Australia? This country has one of the most respected opera houses in the world, which was established in 1869.
That would be Austria.
Is correct.
Amazing. Good job.
That Austrian pride.
Wiener Staatsoper.
What?
Wiener Staatsoper.
What?
In Vienna.
That's the opera. Yeah.
I pronounced it right?
You did. Wiener Staatsoper.
Look at you.
The Sydney Opera House was built in 1973. That was a trick question. You got it right.
The 1800 kind of told
Yeah,
me.
that gave it away.
Okay, fair enough. Number two, the guy actually knows what he's talking about when it comes to opera. Okay. Number two, this country is the home to lots of inventions over the years that include lawnmowers with engines, the black box on airplanes, smoke alarms, aspirin, the pacemaker, penicillin, the wine cask, electric drills, car radios, and the bionic ear.
It's got to be Austria.
He's wrong.
Oh.
What? Seriously?
It's Australia.
Really?
Why, mate?
All of those
didn't know.
prisoners
In
from
that
down
short period
under.
of time.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Well, that was kind of a trick question too, because I was touching him on his pride, Mary. I figured
It's the wine cask that just kind
the
of
wine cask. Right, got him. All right, number 3. Here we go. In this country, you will find an animal that has cubed-shaped poo. Austria or Australia?
I'm gonna go with Australia on that one.
He's right.
That's the
Well,
wombat.
no, that's the right question.
The wombat.
the
really?
wombat. Yep.
It's the wombat. She knows. The square poo is the result of the drying of the feces in the colon and muscular contractions which form the uniform size and corners of the poop. It should be noted also that one time during a game of craps on a makeshift table made from a flat piece of granite and volcano ash for markers with his neighbor Mr. Beaver and a houseless Sasquatch who had been displaced by evading a research UFO, a bearded Lorax accidentally swallowed the dice, which gave him square craps.
Oh no!
Yeah, that really happened. The bearded Lorax.
Square craps.
I want to
Only
know
in
how
Australia.
Mary knows about wombat poo.
I know a lot of really weird shit.
Especially
that's-
square shit.
Square shit.
You must be friends with that Stony Baloney guy.
Yeah, I like it.
If you want to discover cannabis news, reviews, entertainment, and culture, and explore every Leaf magazine at your convenience, search leafmagazines.com. Coming up on our second segment, we'll dive into our opinion of the reality of rescheduling cannabis. We'll get another spin of AJ's wheel and kick it all off with another episode of Who Does That with Mary J. White. Leaf Life continues in uno momento.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming.
Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment.
Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug.
There may be health risks associated with consumption of these products.
For use by adults 21 and older.
Keep out of the reach of children.
Some of the wardrobe, including Ricker Wes's sick lids, provided by Grassroots California. Check out the dopeness at grassrootscalifornia.com.